Ram Ram Ram. Sarvebhyah hritpurvaka namaskaraha. Welcome to class 19 of Learn to Chant Soundaryalahari of Adi Shankaracharya. Swagatam. So as you all know, we have completed till the 44th verse in the previous class. We will start with a quick recap of the verses learned in the previous class and move on to learning 4 more new verses today. So once again, welcome to all of you and to our panelists for today. As of now, we have 3 of them, Shivani, Charu and Vihan, who will help us with the Anucharanam or repetition. So like I always say, one small request and a gentle reminder, let us all sit up straight with a good posture. And every time we sit for chanting, we should have a good asana, that is thiram asanam, a firm seat. So either on the floor or even it's okay, even if it is a chair or a bench or something like that, but a firm seat to help us chant better and to help us concentrate better, to help us in having better breath control. And it is always good to be fresh before we chant, and also let us focus and try to get the most benefit of this chanting exercise. So let us begin as usual with Guru Vandanam and prayers. Then we will begin with the first verse and revision. Gururev gatirgurumev bhaje Gurunaiva sahasmi namo gurave Na guru paramam shishurasmi guroho Matirasti gurau mama pahi guru Shruti smriti purananamayam karunalayam Namami bhagavat pada shankaram lokashankaram Soundaryalahari kartre sarvamangaladayine Shankaracharya varyaya Yatirajayate namaha Shivashaktya yuktaha Yadi bhavati shakta prabhavitum Na chedevan devaha Na khalu kushalaspanditum Atastvamadhyam Harihara virinchadibhirapi Pranantum stotum va Kathamakrita punya prabhavati Tavadhare mule Sahasamayaya lasya paraya Navatmanam manye Navarasa mahatandavanatam Ubhabhyametabhyam Udaya vidhimuddishya dayaya Sanathabhyanjadnye Janaka janani majjagadidam Gatairmanikyatvam GaganamaniBhis sandraghatitam Kiritan te haimam Himagirisute kirtayati yaha Sanide yachhaya churana shabalan chandra shakalam dhanushaunaseeram kimiti na nibadhnati dhishanam dhunotu dhvantannah tulitadalitendiwaravanam ghanasnigdashlakshunam chipuranikurumbantav shive yadiyam saurabhyam sahajamupalabdhum sumanasah vasantyasmin manye balamathana vati vitapinam tanotu kshemannah tava vadana soundaryalahari parivahasrotas saranirivasimanta saranihi Bahanti Sinduram Prabalakabari Bharati Miradvisham Brundair Bandi Kritamivana Naveenarka Kiranam. Okay, so we have learned till verse 44. A common question last class was why do we consider first 41 verses as one part and 42 to 100 as another part of Soundaryalahari? Like some of you pointed out, the first 41 verses are referred to as Anandalahari, and the next 42 to 100 are referred to as Soundaryalahari. Together, the entire work is called Soundaryalahari. Now, there are many accounts which tell you the difference. I mean, why this difference is there. Some say Bhagavan himself composed the first 41, etc. There are many accounts in that way. So, speaking textually, as in from the text point of view, predominantly in the first 41 verses, Acharya Shankara describes the Aradhana or Upasana of Shri Yantra or Shri Chakra, that is Shri Vidya Upasana, like you all know, which is a very deep science, very great spiritual path, and which has to be learnt from gurus, etc. So, for example, Chaturbhi Shri Kanthaihi, 11th verse, I told you, it describes exactly the shapes, the geometric shapes we have in the Shri Yantra. And so the predominant focus of first 41 is Shri Yantra and Upasana. And it's called Anandalahari because, see, this is one of the paths to attain immortal Ananda or Brahmananda or eternal bliss, which is the purpose of human life, right? So these verses lead us to that path. And the 42 to 100 onward, till 100, 42 till 100, predominantly we see Devi Swarupa Upasana. That is Dhyana, in Lalita Sahasranama, Devi is called Dhyana Dhyatra Dhyeya Rupa. So for Dhyana, for meditation on the divine form of the Universal Mother, Jagan Mata, there is a beautiful description of her divine form from 42 to 100. Therefore, her eternal beauty is described as Soundaryalahari. Again, even this Upasana of meditating on the mother's divine form also leads ultimately to that Ananda itself, Brahmananda. So maybe I have mentioned in the first class or so, the greatness of Shankara Bhagavat Padacharya is, if you see his works, right from the very deep and probably those which are very difficult to comprehend by the common persons. So right from the Bhashyas to Prasthanatraya, Brahma Sutras, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, he has also composed simple stotras for for children not only in terms of age, but also who are quite young in the spiritual journey. So like Gurvashtakam and Mohamudgaram, which is famously called Bhajagovindam. So that's a beautiful stotram where he describes about the life of human beings. And Sharada Bhujanga Prayata Stotram, Shiva Manasa Puja, multiple of these stotrams where there is upasana of Saguna Brahman, where there is a Rupa, the Brahman ultimate reality, there is a Rupa. We prostrate to any form. In Sharada Bhujanga Prayata Stotram, it is description of goddess Sharadamba. Then Gurvashtakam about the importance of Guru Bhakti. So he has instilled a lot of values in the entire humanity, and there are different kinds of works for different levels of spiritual evolution. So these stotras like Gurvashtakam, Sharada Bhujangam, they are so nice to teach kids also who have just learned speaking, you know. So please, I urge all of you to teach these. Apart from whatever nursery rhymes they learn in school, etc., these will go a very long way in their lives, and they pick up very soon just by listening, and wonderful rhyming words, etc. So it's very good to teach young children who are just beginning to learn, speak these stotrams, or even before they talk. If you expose them to these stotrams, it is a very great contribution you'll be making to their life. Then he has also composed great works like Viveka Chudamani, Atma Bodha, which are hardcore, spiritual texts. And also he has described Advaita philosophy. You know, Shankaracharya is the proponent of Advaita philosophy, that is non-dualism. And so even in Soundaryalahari, coming back to this, we see both Upasana of Shri Yantra and Upasana of Devi's Divya Swarupa. And both will lead to the ultimate Atmajnana, or that Brahmananda, ultimate bliss, which, like you all know, is the purpose of this human life. So that is, in brief, why we have this, why scholars have differentiated in this way. Like I said, there are many other account stories associated, but textually speaking, scholars have differentiated the first 41 verses in this way, then 42 to 100 also. Like I've already said, there are pre-recorded lectures on Sanskrit from Home website. And also, I think there was a webinar offered previously on focusing on the meaning of Soundaryalahari. So you can, as you learn these verses, listen to that meaning so that you will be able to appreciate better. And like I always say, instead of reading only the meaning, trying to read any text in its mula, the root form, in the language in which it was composed, and then trying to understand the meaning, you will definitely have a better experience rather than just reading a translation in any other language. So with that, let us commence today's class, verse 45. Shivani? Shivani, before I begin, can you tell me if my audio is very feeble?
No, ma'am, it is proper. It's heard loudly.
Okay, thank you. If anybody feels it's feeble, some of you have said try to increase the volume on your system. We will begin with 45. Aralai svabhavyat.
Aralai svabhavyat. Aralai svabhavyat.
Alikalabhasa shri-bhiralakaihi.
Alikalabhasa shri-bhiralakaihi. Alikalabhasa shri-bhiralakaihi.
Paritante vaktram.
Paritante vaktram. Paritante vaktram.
Parihasati pankeruharuchim.
Parihasati pankeruharuchim. Parihasati pankeruharuchim.
Darasmere yasmin.
Darasmere yasmin. Darasmere yasmin.
Dashana ruchi kinjal karuchire.
Dashana ruchi kinjal karuchire. Dashana ruchi kinjal karuchire.
Sugandhau madhyanti.
Sugandhau madhyanti. Sugandhau madhyanti.
Smaradahana chakshurmadhulihaha.
Smaradahana chakshurmadhulihaha. Smaradahana chakshurmadhulihaha.
Uttamam. Aralai swabhavyat. So note the two sirs there. Swabhavyat bha is Mahaprana. Ali kalabha Mahaprana. Ali kalabha sashri. So there Dvitvam Ali kalabha sashri. Second sh is heard here. Shri bhiralakaihi. Bhi is Mahaprana. Paritam te, you could either chant the Anuswara completely or as paritante, combining the Sandhi. Vaktram. Parihasati panke ruha ruchim. Darasmere, Dvitvam again here. It is not Darasmere, it is Darasmere. So sometimes in some words you see Dvitvam is heard very clearly. It is not Darasmere, Darasmere, extra s here before smere. Yasmin. Dashana ruchi kinjalka ruchire. Sugandhau dha Mahaprana madhyanti. Smaradahana chakshur madhulihaha. Dhu is Mahaprana. We will do it again. Aralai swabhavyat. Ali kalabhasa shri bhiralakaihi.
Aralai swabhavyat. Ali kalabhasa shri bhiralakaihi. Aralai swabhavyat. Ali kalabhasa shri bhiralakaihi.
Paritante vaktram. Parihasati panke ruharuchim.
Paritam te vaktram. Parihasati panke ruharuchim. Paritam te vaktram. Parihasati panke ruharuchim.
Darasmere yasmin. Dashana ruchi kinjal karuchire.
Darasmere yasmin. Dashana ruchi kinjal karuchire. Darasmere yasmin. Dashana ruchi kinjal karuchire.
Sugandhau madhyanti. Smaradahana chakshur madhulihaha.
Sugandhau madhyanti. Smaradahana chakshur madhulihaha. Sugandhau madhyanti. Smaradahana chakshur madhulihaha.
Uttamam. Now we'll do half a verse at a time. Aralai swabhavyat. Ali kalabhasa shri bhiralakaihi. Paritante vaktram. Parihasati panke ruharuchim.
Aralai swabhavyat. Ali kalabhasa shri bhiralakaihi. Paritante vaktram. Parihasati panke ruharuchim. Aralai swabhavyat. आलिकलभसश्रीभिरलकैः परीतन्ते वक्त्रम् परिहसति पङ्केरुहरुचिम्
दरस्मेरे यस्मिन् दशन रुचि किञ्जल्करुचिरे सुगन्धौ माद्यन्ति स्मरदहन चक्षुर्मधुलिहः
दरस्मेरे यस्मिन् दशन रुचि किञ्जल्करुचिरे सुगन्धौ माद्यन्ति स्मरदहन चक्षुर्मधुलिहः दरस्मेरे यस्मिन् दशन रुचि किञ्जल्करुचिरे सुगन्धौ माद्यन्ति स्मरदहन चक्षुर्मधुलिहः.
Uttamam. Now the entire verse. Aralai swabhavyat alikalabhasa shri bhiralakaihi paritante vaktram parihasati pankeruharuchim darasmere yasmin दशन रुचि किञ्जल्करुचिरे सुगन्धौ माद्यन्ति स्मरदहन चक्षुर्मधुलिहः
अरालै स्वाभाव्यात् अलिकलभसश्रीभिरलकैः परीतन्ते वक्त्रम् परिहसति पङ्केरुहरुचिम् दरस्मेरे यस्मिन् दशन रुचि किञ्जल्करुचिरे सुगन्धौ माद्यन्ति स्मरदहन चक्षुर्मधुलिहः अरालै स्वाभाव्यात् अलिकलभसश्रीभिरलकैः परीतन्ते वक्त्रम् परिहसति पङ्केरुहरुचिम् दरस्मेरे यस्मिन् दशन रुचि किञ्जल्करुचिरे सुगन्धौ माद्यन्ति स्मरदहन चक्षुर्मधुलिहः.
Uttamam. Well chanted, Shivani. Next verse. Charu. ललाटं लावण्यद्युतिविमलमाभाति
ललाटं लावण्यद्युतिविमलमाभाति ललाटं लावण्यद्युतिविमलमाभाति
तव यत्
तव यत्
द्वितीयं तन्मन्ये
द्वितीयं तन्मन्ये
मुकुटघटितं चन्द्रशकलम्
मुकुटघटितं चन्द्रशकलम्
विपर्यासन्न्यासात् उभयमपि सम्भूय च मिथ
उभयमपि सम्भूय च मिथः उभयमपि सम्भूय च मिथः
सुधालेपस्यूतिः
सुधालेपस्यूतिः सुधालेपस्यूतिः
परिणमतिराकाहिमकरः
परिणमतिराकाहिमकरः परिणमतिराकाहिमकरः
उत्तमम् ललाटं लावण्यद्युति लावण्यद्युति please note the ditvam there second d is heard this dyuti here it is alpa prana like vidya okay adya it is not the it is not the it is the so lavanyadyuti we do not pause here for this line lavanyadyuti vimala mabhati bha mahaprana tavayat dvitiyam tanmanye you could optionally combine the anuswara and chant it as dvitiyam tanmanye combine the sandhi mukuta ghatitam chandra shakalam again gha is mahaprana. Here, anuswara followed by cha, you could combine the sandhi and chant it as mukuta ghatitan chandra shakalam. Viparya sanyasat ubhayamapi, bha is mahaprana. Sambhuya, bha is mahaprana. Cha mithaha, tha is mahaprana. Sudha, dha is mahaprana. Sudha lepasyutihi. Dvitvam here. Sudha lepas extra s is heard. Sudhalepasyutihi parinamati rakahimakaraha. Okay, we will repeat it. Lalatam lavanyadyuti vimalamabhati tavayat.
ललाटं लावण्यद्युति विमलभा द्युतिविमलमाभाति तव यत् ललाटं लावण्यद्युतिविमलमाभाति तव यत्
द्वितीयं तन्मन्ये मुकुटघटितं चन्द्रशकलम्
द्वितीयं तन्मन्ये मुकुटघटितं चन्द्रशकलम् द्वितीयं तन्मन्ये मुकुटघटितं चन्द्रशकलम्
विपर्यासन्न्यासात् उभयमपि सम्भूय च मिथः
विपर्यासन्न्यासात् उभयमपि सम्भूय च मिथः विपर्यासन्न्यासात् उभयमपि सम्भूय च मिथः
सुधालेपस्यूतिः परिणमतिराकाहिमकरः
सुधालेपस्यूतिः परिणमतिराकाहिमकरः सुधालेपस्यूतिः परिणमतिराकाहिमकरः
Uttamam. Now we'll do 2 lines at a time. Latam lavanyadyuti vimalamabhati tavayat dvitiyam tanmanye मुकुटघटितं चन्द्रशकलम्
ललाटं लावण्यद्युतिविमलमाभाति तव यत् द्वितीयं तन्मन्ये मुकुटघटितं चन्द्रशकलम् ललाटं लावण्यद्युतिविमलमाभाति तव यत् द्वितीयं तन्मन्ये मुकुटघटितं चन्द्रशकलम्
विपर्यासन्न्यासात् उभयमपि सम्भूय च मिथः सुधालेपस्यूतिः परिणमतिराकाहिमकरः
विपर्यासन्न्यासात् उभयमपि सम्भूय च मिथः सुधालेपस्यूतिः परिणमतिराकाहिमकरः विपर्यासन्न्यासात् उभयमपि सम्भूय च मिथः सुधालेपस्यूतिः परिणमतिराकाहिमकरः.
Okay, now the entire verse. ललाटं लावण्यद्युतिविमलमाभाति तव यत् द्वितीयं तन्मन्ये मुकुटघटितं चन्द्रशकलं विपर्यासन्न्यासात् उभयमपि सम्भूय च मिथः सुधालेपस्यूतिः परिणमतिराकाहिमकरः.
ललाटं लावण्यद्युतिविमलमाभाति तव यत् द्वितीयं तन्मन्ये मुकुटघटितं चन्द्रशकलं विपर्यासन्न्यासात् उभयमपि सम्भूय च मिथः सुधालेपस्यूतिः परिणमतिराकाहिमकरः. ललाटं लावण्यद्युतिविमलमाभाति तव यत् द्वितीयं तन्मन्ये मुकुटघटितं चन्द्रशकलं विपर्यासन्न्यासात् उभयमपि सम्भूय च मिथः सुधालेपस्यूतिः परिणमतिराकाहिमकरः.
Uttamam. Well chanted, Charu. So some of you have asked, is it Makuta or Mukuta? Both mean the same. There is no difference in meaning. So some versions might have Makuta, but this is the version we are following. This is what has been taught by my guru. So we are following Mukuta Ghatitam. Annie Mary Bhagini, you say that in another version, they have given it as Makuta. Okay, explained version in the sense, I'm not sure which version you're referring to, but maybe the course where the meaning was explained in Vyoma. But like I said, both are correct. Makuta, Mukuta, both versions are acceptable. Both mean the same. So in this particular course, as taught by our gurus, we will follow Mukuta Ghatitam. So you are free to follow whichever. Both mean the same. Next one, Vihan.
Ram Ram Ram.
Ram 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 Vihan. Bhruvau bhugne kinchit.
Bhruvau bhugne kinchit. Bhruvau bhugne kinchit.
Bhuvana bhaya bhangavyasanini.
Bhuvana bhaya bhangavyasanini. Bhuvana bhaya bhangavyasanini.
Tvadiye netrabhyam.
Tvadiye netrabhyam. Tvadiye netrabhyam.
Madhukara ruchibhyam dhritagunam.
Madhukarya ruchibhyam ghृतगुणम्. Madhukarya ruchibhyam ghृतगुणम्.
Dhanurmanye.
धनुर्मन्ये धनुर्मन्ये
Savyetara-kara-grihitam.
सव्येतरकरगृहीतं सव्येतरकरगृहीतं
Ratipateः.
रतिपतेः रतिपतेः
प्रकोष्ठे मुष्टौ च.
प्रकोष्ठे मुष्टौ च प्रकोष्ठे मुष्टौ च
प्रकोष्ठे मुष्टौ च.
प्रकोष्ठे मुष्टौ च प्रकोष्ठे मुष्टौ च
स्थगयति निगूढान्तरमुमे.
स्थगयति निगूढान्तरमुमे स्थगयति निगूढान्तरमुमे
Uttamam. So lot of Mahapranas in the first line and all are bha, bhruvau, bhugne, Mahaprana, kinchit, bhuvana, bhu, bhuvana, bhaya, bhanga, vyasanini, bha. So please note that clearly. Tvadiye, netrabhyam, bha is Mahaprana, madhukara, ruchibhyam, dha and bha again Mahapranas, dhrita gunam. Note the pronunciation of this dhrita. So there is a difference. This is bhru, bhra and ukara. So bhru. But here it is dhrita. So this is a gunitaksharam. This is a samyuktaksharam with ukara. So bhru and here it is dhr. The difference should be made in pronunciation. This is a gunitaakshara, not a conjunct consonant. It is a consonant by itself. Here u comes, ukara. Here it is r. A, I, I, U, R here. Dhrita gunam. So please don't chant it as dhruta. It is not dhruta. It is dhrita gunam. Dhanurmanye. Dha is Mahaprana. Here we don't pause. Savyetara-kara grihitam ratipatehe. Prakoshte. This tha is Mahaprana. Mushtaucha. Ta is Alpaprana. So prakoshte tha Mahaprana, mushtau ta Alpaprana. We should be careful not to interchange and also not to chant even mushtau as Mahaprana. It is not mushtau, it is mushtau. So only first tha prakoshte is Mahaprana. Sthagayati tha Mahaprana. Nigudhantara mume dha is also Mahaprana. Now we will do one line at a time. Bhruvau bhugne kinchit bhuvana bhaya bhanga vyasanini.
ध्रुवौ भुग्ने किञ्चित् भुवन भय भङ्गव्यसनिनि ध्रुवौ भुग्ने किञ्चित् भुवन भय भङ्गव्यसनिनि
Tvadiye netrabhyam madhukara ruchibhyam dhrita gunam.
त्वदीये नेत्राभ्यां मधुकररुचिभ्यां धृतगुणं त्वदीये नेत्राभ्यां मधुकररुचिभ्यां धृतगुणम्
Dhanurmanye savyetara-kara grihitam ratipatehe.
धनुर्मन्ये सव्येतरकरगृहीतं रतिपतेः धनुर्मन्ये सव्येतरकरगृहीतं रतिपतेः
प्रकोष्ठे मुष्टौ च स्थगयति निगूढान्तरमुमे.
प्रकोष्ठे च स्थगयति निगूढान्तरमुमे प्रकोष्ठे मुष्टौ च स्थगयति निगूढान्तरमुमे.
Uttamam. A few other things to point out here. Bhuvana bhaya bhanga vyasanini. Dvitvam here. Before v, second v is heard. Bhuvana bhaya bhanga vyasanini. Also, ni. Both are hrasva. That is short letters. So please do not prolong it as vyasanini. It is vyasanini. And next line. Madhukara ruchibhyam dhrita gunam. Anuswara you could optionally combine with dha to form a sandhi and chant it as Madhukara ruchibhyam dhrita gunam. Both are right. Either Madhukara ruchibhyam or Madhukara ruchibhyam dhrita gunam. If you pause after Madhukara ruchibhyam, you should chant the Anuswara completely. But if you're chanting continuously, you could optionally combine it as Madhukara Ruchibhyan Dhrita Gunam. Now we will do 2 lines at a time. Bhruvau bhugne kinchit bhuvana bhaya bhanga vyasanini tvadiye netrabhyam madhukara ruchibhyan dhrita gunam.
भुवौ भुग्ने किञ्चित् भुवनभयभङ्गव्यसनिनि त्वदीये नेत्राभ्यां मधुकररुचिभ्यां घृतगुणम्. भ्रुवौ भुग्ने किञ्चित् भुवनभयभङ्गव्यसनिनि त्वदीये नेत्राभ्यां मधुकररुचिभ्यां धृतगुणम्.
धनुर्मन्ये सव्येतरकरगृहीतं रतिपतेः प्रकोष्ठे मुष्टौ च स्थगयति निगूढान्तरमुमे.
धनुर्मन्ये सव्येतरकरगृहीतं रतिपतेः प्रकोष्ठे मुष्टौ च स्थगयति निगूढान्तरमुमे. धनुर्मन्ये सव्येतरकरगृहीतं रतिपतेः प्रकोष्ठे मुष्टौ च स्थगयति निगूढान्तरमुमे.
Okay, Uttamam Vihan. Now the entire verse. Bhruvau bhugne kinchit bhuvana bhaya bhanga vyasanini tvadiye netrabhyam madhukara ruchibhyam dhrita gunam. Dhanurmanye savyetarakaragrihitam ratipatehe prakoष्ठे मुष्टौ च स्थगयति निगूढान्तरमुमे.
भुवौ भुग्ने किञ्चित् भुवनभयभङ्गव्यसनिनि त्वदीये नेत्राभ्यां मधुकररुचिभ्यां धृतगुणम्. धनुर्मन्ये सव्येतरकरगृहीतं रतिपतेः प्रकोष्ठे मुष्टौ च स्थगयति निगूढान्तरमुमे. भ्रुवौ भुग्ने किञ्चित् भुवनभयभङ्गव्यसनिनि त्वदीये नेत्राभ्यां मधुकररुचिभ्यां धृतगुणम्. धनुर्मन्ये सव्येतरकरगृहीतं रतिपतेः प्रकोष्ठे मुष्टौ च स्थगयति निगूढान्तरमुमे.
उत्तमं विहान, धन्यवादाः. नेक्स्ट पृथ्वी.
राम राम राम.
राम 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 पृथ्वी. आहसूते सव्यम्
आहसूते सव्यम् आहसूते सव्यम्
तव नयनमर्कात्मकतया
तव नयनमर्कात्मकतया तव नयनमर्कात्मकतया
त्रियामां वामन्ते
त्रियामां वामन्ते त्रियामां वामन्ते
सृजति रजनीनायकतया
सृजति रजनीनायकतया सृजति रजनीनायकतया
तृतीया ते दृष्टिः
तृतीया ते दृष्टिः तृतीया ते दृष्टिः
दरदलितहेमाम्बुजरुचिः
दरदलितहेमाम्बुजरुचिः दरदलितहेमाम्बुजरुचिः
समाधत्ते सन्ध्याम्
समाधत्ते सन्ध्याम् समाधत्ते सन्ध्याम्
दिवसनिशयोरन्तरचरीम्
दिवसनिशयोरन्तरचरीम् दिवसनिशयोरन्तरचरीम्.
उत्तमम्. अहसूते सव्यं द्वित्वं, the extra v is heard here, सव्यं तव नयनमर्कात्मकतया त्रियामां वामन्ते. Here Vanuswara followed by v. You could optionally chant it as त्रियामां, that is the nasal sound to v. त्रियामां वामन्ते. So here full Anuswara completely as vamam or optionally as vamante. Srijati. Sri, please note the pronunciation. It is not sru, it is sri. Srijati Rajani Naya Kataya. Tritiya. Again here it is tr. It is not tru. It is Tritiyate Drishtihi. Again here it is dr. It is not drushtihi. It is dr. Drishtihi. This subtle difference you have to make out while pronouncing. Tritiyate Drishtihi. Daradalita Hemambuja Ruchihi. Samadhatte, dha is Mahaprana. Sandhyam, dha is Mahaprana. Divasa Nishayorantara Charim. We will do one line at a time. Ahasute Sabdyam Tavanayana Markatmakataya.
Ahasute Savyam Tavanayana Markatmakataya. Ahasute Savyam Tavanayana Markatmakataya.
Triyamam vamante srijati rajani nayakataya.
Triyamam vamante srijati rajani nayakataya. Triyamam vamante srijati rajani nayakataya.
Tritiyate drishtihi दरदलिता हेमाम्बुजरुचिः
तृतीया ते दृष्टिः दरदलिता हेमाम्बुजरुचिः तृतीया ते दृष्टिः दरदलिता हेमाम्बुजरुचिः
समाधत्ते सन्ध्यां दिवसनिशयोरन्तरचरीम्
समाधत्ते सन्ध्यां दिवसनिशयोरन्तरचरीं समाधत्ते सन्ध्यां दिवसनिशयोरन्तरचरीम्.
Now 2 lines at a time. Ahasute sabhyam tava nayanamarkatmakataya triyama vamante srijati rajaninayakataya.
ahasute sabhyam tava nayanamarkatmakataya triyama vamante srijati rajaninayakataya. ahasute sabhyam tava nayanamarkatmakataya triyama vamante srijati rajaninayakataya.
तृतीया ते दृष्टिः दरदलिता हेमाम्बुजरुचिः समाधत्ते सन्ध्यां दिवसनिशयोरन्तरचरीम्
तृतीया ते दृष्टिः दरदलिता हेमाम्बुजरुचिः समाधत्ते सन्ध्यां दिवसनिशयोरन्तरचरीं तृतीया ते दृष्टिः दरदलिता हेमाम्बुजरुचिः समाधत्ते सन्ध्यां दिवसनिशयोरन्तरचरीम्.
Uttamam. Now the entire verse. Ahasute sabhyam tava nayanamarkatmakataya triyama vamante srijati rajaninayakataya tritiya te drishtihi दरदलिता हेमाम्बुजरुचिः समाधत्ते सन्ध्यां दिवसनिशयोरन्तरचरीम्
ahasute savyam tava nayanamarkatmakataya triyama vamante srijati rajaninayakataya tritiya te drishtiः दरदलिता हेमाम्बुजरुचिः समाधत्ते सन्ध्यां दिवसनिशयोरन्तरचरीम् ahasute savyam tava nayanamarkatmakataya triyama vamante srijati rajaninayakataya tritiya te drishtiः दरदलिता हेमाम्बुजरुचिः समाधत्ते सन्ध्यां दिवसनिशयोरन्तरचरीम्.
Uttamam, Prithvi, well chanted. Now let us quickly recap the 4 verses we learned today, 45 to 48. Aralai swabhavyat alikalabhasa shribhiralakaihi paritante vaktram parihasati pankeruharuchim darasmere yasmin dashana ruchi kinjal karuchire sugandhau madhyanti smaradahana chakshurmadhulihaha lalatam lavanyadhyuti vimalamabhati tavayat dvitiyam tanmanye mukutaghatitan chandrashakalam viparyasanyasat ubhayamapi sambhuya cha mithaha sudhale pasyutihi parinamati rakahimakaraha dhruvau bhugne kinchit bhuvana bhaya bhangavyasanini tvadiye netrabhyam madhukara ruchibhyam dhrita gunam dhanurmanye savyetara grihitam ratipatehe prakoshte mushtau cha sthagayati nigudhantaramume ahasute savyam tavanayanamarkatmakataya triyama vamante srijati rajaninayakataya tritiya te drishtihi daradalita hemambujaruchihi samadhatte sandhyam divasa nishayorantarachari. Okay, so these 4 verses for today. Yeah, so Makuta, Mukuta, I already answered. Both are right. So I understand that in the other course, it was taught as Makuta. So you could follow either, both are correct. In this course, we are going to follow it as Mukuta. Okay. Lalatam lavanya. Yes, you could also combine the sandhi and chant it as lalatal lavanya dyuti vimala mahabhati. That is also correct. The panelists, the kids are being appreciated for doing a great job as usual. So congratulations, Abhinandanani, to all the panelists. Okay. So one of you asked me about the stotrams for kids, for children, what can be taught to them. There are multiple such stotrams by Adi Shankara Bhagavat Padacharya. So what you could do is you could send me an email so that I can point you to some sources where you can have a look at these stotrams and start teaching children. Also, in Vyoma itself, there is a Saptaha Stotra Sangraha, that is different stotrams for each day of the week. Saptaha means week. So for each day of the week, different stotram. There is a product by Vyoma that is specially for beginners and for children to learn. So there are, if I'm not wrong, I think they have stotras of different composers, including Adi Shankaracharya. So you could go through that product. It is available on Sanskrit from Home and Digital Sanskrit Guru. And that product also might be useful. Yes, Revati Bhagavini says there's a webinar also for children. Yes, there is a webinar also for children. So you could attend that webinar. Please look up Sanskrit from Home. Okay. 48th verse we haven't Okay, 48th verse. I will repeat it again in the next class. So next class, as usual, I will repeat in the beginning all 4 verses which we have learned today, and then move to the next verse. And also the recording will be posted before that, so you could listen to the recording as well. Zoom link, we do not send the Zoom link anymore. I think you should log into sanskritfromhome.org, and from there, from your account, you log into your class, but you get a reminder email. So that is how you will be able to log in. So I will not be sending the Zoom link manually to everyone before class. That doesn't happen. It is already available on sanskritfromhome.org. You should log in. Otherwise, you will also get an email, but I'm not sure if that has a Zoom link in it or not. That I do not know. I will check and let you know if the reminder email has a Zoom link. Any courses you want to enroll, please log into Sanskrit from Home. I will not be able to enroll each of you. The email has the Zoom link. Yes, thank you very much for many of you for telling me that. The email has the Zoom link. So please check the email with which you have registered. You will get the Zoom link in that email. You also get it 1 day in advance, 24 hours in advance, and then you get it 1 hour in advance, if I'm not wrong. You can also join from email. Okay, thank you for the clarification. So you could either join from the website or by clicking on the Zoom link in the email. Sanskrit course taught by me, Indira Bhagini, like I've already answered this. There is an ongoing Sanskrit course in Vyoma, but that is a very closed group only for children, 7 to 14 years. And we also have completed about 70% of the portion. So currently no other course, but there are many other Sanskrit courses in Vyoma which you could enroll for, which are open to all age groups. And if there is any other course which we commence, which I would teach, you all will definitely get a notification on your registered email IDs. Any questions regarding not receiving email, Zoom code not working, you're not getting reminders, all such questions, please address them to this particular email ID on your screen, sanskritfromhome.vyomalabs.in, this one here. Please address it to this, because all the admin related stuff, they will be taken care of. If you want, you could copy me on the email so that I get to know, and if they don't reply, I could send a gentle reminder. But anything regarding Zoom link, emails, etc., you would have to address it to this particular email ID on your screen. Okay, so now let us conclude as usual with Shanti Mantraha. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhanyavadaha Sarvebhyaha. Thank you very much, all of you, for attending. And thank you to all our panelists for doing a great job. Let us join next Sunday at the same time. And request all of you to please keep up the practice and encourage others also who might be interested to join. Anytime they are welcome to join. As they learn, they will be able to understand the rules of pronunciation also. Dhanyavadaha, Punarmilamaha, Ram Ram Ram.